Cruising feels like paradise until one wrong bite turns it into a floating nightmare. Behind the endless buffets, gourmet dinners, and poolside snacks, hide foods even the crew won't touch. From bacteria-laden sauces to fresh seafood that's been thawed since Tuesday, there are secrets your waiter won't mention. These aren't just bad choices. They cruise ship traps that can wreck your stomach, your wallet, or your entire vacation. So before you grab that plate, watch closely, because secret number 7 shocks even the most loyal cruisers. Let's dive into the foods you should never, ever eat at sea. Number 1. The buffet scrambled eggs, powdered and past their prime. Let's start with breakfast. The meal everyone rushes to on a cruise. You see those big metal trays of scrambled eggs, fluffy and yellow under the heat lamps. Most passengers scoop them up without a second thought. But here's the truth, the crew will never advertise. Those eggs probably didn't come from a shell. Most cruise buffets use powdered egg mix, whisked with water, then reheated again and again to keep the trays looking full. It's fast, it's cheap, and it feeds thousands at once. But flavor and texture, gone. Nutrition, barely hanging on. Now, imagine that same tray sitting out for an hour while passengers cycle through. The surface dries out. Bacteria love the warm, moist environment underneath, and what looks fresh can actually be well past its safe zone. Even veteran crew members skip those buffet eggs when they're off duty, because you don't want your first morning at sea spent wondering if that queasy feeling is seasickness or breakfast regret. And once you've had one bad meal on board, it's hard to trust the buffet again. Skip the trays and head straight to the made-to-order egg station. They'll crack real eggs right in front of you. Fluffy omelets, fresh toppings, no mystery mix. It takes an extra few minutes, but you'll taste the difference instantly. Number 2. The midnight deli sandwiches. Bacteria buffet after dark midnight hunger hits hard on a cruise. You've been to the show, maybe had a drink or 3, and that smell from the late-night deli pulls you in like a magnet. Hot sandwiches, melty cheese, it feels like the perfect end to a perfect day. But here's what most passengers don't realize, that fresh turkey club might have been sitting there for hours. Many cruise delis, especially during overnight service, pre-wrap sandwiches early in the evening to handle the rush later. They're kept in baskets or warming drawers that aren't properly refrigerated. After midnight, those sandwiches can be in the danger zone, warm enough for bacteria to grow, cool enough that no one notices. Crew members know it. Ask around quietly, and they'll tell you they avoid the late-night deli, like the buffet, on day 1. It's not that the food starts bad, it's just been sitting too long. Meat, mayo, and cheese are the worst combo when temperature control slips even a little. The result? Upset stomach, restless night, and possibly an awkward trip to the ship's medical center. Not exactly the midnight memory you had in mind. So here's your smarter play. Skip the self-serve sandwiches and order from room service instead. Yes, it takes a few extra minutes, but it's made fresh, delivered hot, and you'll eat in peace without wondering how many hours your food spent on standby. Number 3. The Poolside Chicken. Nothing smells better at sea than fried chicken by the pool. Golden, crispy, the ultimate comfort food. You grab a plate, the ocean breeze hits, and life feels perfect. But here's the part no one tells you, that poolside chicken might look ready, but it's not always cooked all the way through. Here's what happens behind the scenes. During peak lunch rush, crew members work fast to refill trays, the fryer's running non-stop, and timing gets tight. Sometimes, a few pieces come out early just to keep the line moving. On the outside, golden perfection. Inside, still pink. Most passengers don't notice until it's too late. Maybe a strange taste, maybe a stomach cramp later that night. Undercooked poultry is one of the top causes of foodborne illness at sea. And trust me, the onboard medical center is the last place you want to spend your vacation dollars. Even crew members play it safe. They'll wait for a fresh batch or skip the fried food altogether, because once it's under a heat lamp, that crispy coating starts trapping bacteria faster than you think. Watch for trays coming straight from the kitchen. If the chicken's steaming hot and you hear that fresh sizzle, you're good. Otherwise, wait 5 minutes for a new batch or grab grilled chicken from the main dining room instead. Number 4. The shrimp cocktail. A thought illusion shrimp cocktail is the ultimate cruise classic, cold, elegant, and everywhere. You see it lined up at the buffet, perfectly pink and glistening on crushed ice. But here's the illusion, that shrimp isn't fresh from the sea. It's thawed from the freezer, often days before you ever step on board. Most cruise lines stock shrimp in bulk, frozen solid for storage. Then, before service, it's defrosted in large tubs and portioned into bowls that sit out for hours during lunch service. It still looks fine, but the clock is ticking. Once shrimp are thawed, bacteria multiply quickly, especially if that ice underneath starts melting. Crew insiders quietly admit they avoid the shrimp trays later in the day. It's not because they don't like seafood, it's because they've seen how long those bowls sit under the buffet lights. And when shrimp go bad, you know it fast. stomach cramps, nausea, and one ruined vacation. But don't swear off shrimp forever. The key is knowing where to eat it. Specialty restaurants like Carnival, Fahrenheit 555, or Royal Caribbean, Chops Grill prepare seafood fresh to order and store it at proper temperatures. That's where you'll get the real flavor without the risk. Skip the self-serve shrimp at buffets and save your seafood appetite for the first 2 days of your cruise or a paid dining venue. Number 5. The salad bar. Surprise, germs on the greens. That salad bar looks innocent, fresh, colorful, healthy. You grab the tongs, pile up some lettuce, maybe a little ranch. Feels like the smart move, right? But here's what most cruisers realize, that healthy salad station might be the dirtiest spot on the ship. Cruise buffets are high-traffic zones. Hundreds of people stream through every hour. Some just came from sunbathing, some from the pool, others straight from the restroom, without washing their hands. And all of them touch those same serving spoons and tongs. Crew quietly call it the germ parade. By midday, those utensils have seen more action than a slot machine in the casino. Even if the greens look crisp, the danger isn't in the lettuce, it's on the handles. Add warm lighting and humid air, and bacteria can thrive fast. Norovirus outbreaks at sea often start with one careless grab at a buffet station. It's not dramatic, just invisible. A single contaminated tong, and suddenly half the dining room feels queasy. Before you touch a single utensil, hit the sanitizer station. It's there for a reason. Look for salads made to order in the main dining room, or better yet, grab pre-plated options where crew handle the serving. That way, you still get your greens without playing bacterial roulette. Because on a cruise ship, clean hands matter more than clean eating. Number 6. The hot dog station. Hidden in plain sight, few cruise snacks feel more all-American than a hot dog by the pool. It's fast, familiar, and always ready when hunger strikes. But here's the catch. Those dogs might have been ready a little too long. Most passengers don't know this, but many ships reheat the same batch of hot dogs throughout the day. Leftovers from lunch get rotated into the evening trays to reduce waste. They're reheated again and again, sometimes under weak heat lamps that do more warming than cooking. By late afternoon, you're not biting into a fresh grill favorite. You're retasting something that has been sitting, steaming, and drying out for hours. And when meat sits in that lukewarm zone too long, bacteria can multiply fast. Crew know it, that's why they grab their meals straight from the kitchen before service starts. Beyond the safety issue, flavor takes a hit too. That snap disappears, the bun goes soggy, and you end up with something that tastes like regret between two pieces of bread. So here's your smarter move. If you see a crew member dropping fresh dogs on the grill, wait, it's worth the extra few minutes. Or skip the buffet altogether and grab a freshly made burger or grilled chicken sandwich from the poolside grill. Hot dogs might be classic cruise comfort food, but not all comfort is worth the risk. Especially when fresh off the grill could mean hours under a lamp. Number 7. The self-serve ice cream machine. Germ factory alert. There's nothing more cruise perfect than grabbing a soft serve cone by the pool. Sun shining, music playing, ice cream swirling, pure happiness in a cone. But here's the part that'll make you think twice before pulling that lever. That machine handle might be one of the dirtiest things on the entire ship. Think about it. Kids, adults, sunscreen-covered hands. Everyone touches that same lever, dozens of times an hour. And here's the kicker. Very few actually sanitize before or after. The ship provides sanitizer stations, but most people walk right past them, cone already in hand. Crew members know this all too well. Some even bring napkins just to pull the lever when they're off duty. Because what you don't see, sticky residue, melted drips, and airborne sneezes, builds up fast around that machine. Even if the ice cream mix inside is fine, the handle is a microbial hotspot. One contaminated surface can spread germs to hundreds of hands in a single day. And when norovirus or a simple stomach bug hits the ship, that's often one of the first places they disinfect. So here's your pro tip. If you can't resist your cone, and honestly, who can? Use a napkin or paper towel to pull the lever. Even better, ask for a bowl instead of a cone. Less handling, less mess, and way less risk. It's the same sweet treat, just without the invisible extras nobody ordered. Number 8. The Daily Fish Special. Not so fresh catch. Catch of the day. Sounds classy, right? You picture a chef hauling in fresh fish straight from tropical waters that morning. But here's the truth. The only thing fresh about that dish is the marketing. Most cruise lines load their seafood long before embarkation, frozen solid in bulk shipments. Once on board, it's stored for days, sometimes weeks, before being thawed, portioned, and served as the special. And when supply runs low, leftover fish gets reused in chowders or casseroles under the label of chef's choice. Crew insiders admit they can tell when the same salmon reappears 2 days later, just with a new sauce. It's not dangerous if stored properly. But here's the problem. Every freeze-thaw cycle drains moisture and flavor, and bacteria can creep in if the temperature control slips. So when your fresh catch arrives looking dull, dry, or flaky in all the wrong ways, that's not the ocean's fault, it's freezer fatigue. And on a hot Caribbean afternoon, that can spell trouble for your stomach. If you want real seafood, order it early in the sailing, day 1 or 2, when the stock is newest. Even better, go for a specialty restaurant like Chop's Grill, Ocean Blue, or the Seafood Shack, where dishes are cooked to order with tighter quality control. Number 9. The cheese platter bacteria on display. It looks sophisticated, a cruise buffet lined with elegant cheese trays and fruit garnishes. But that Instagram-ready platter could be hiding a not-so-classy secret. Here's the thing, most cruisers don't realize. Once cheese leaves refrigeration, the clock starts ticking fast. And on a ship, especially one sailing through Caribbean heat, that gourmet brie has been sweating longer than a deck chair at noon. Soft cheeses, brie, camembert blue, are the worst offenders. They're safe cold, but let them sit under buffet lights for a couple of hours, and bacteria get the party invitation first. Many avoid those cheese displays during late service because they've seen how long they sit out. Even hard cheeses like cheddar and Gouda start breaking down, collecting condensation that invites unwanted guests you can't see. Because that harmless-looking bite could mean stomach cramps or food poisoning that takes you from cocktail hour straight to the ship's medical bay. And yes, medical visits on board aren't covered by your drink package. If you love cheese, and who doesn't, skip the buffet trays and order a freshly plated cheese course in the main dining room. It's stored cold, sliced to order, and handled by crew wearing gloves, not 1,000 wandering hands. Number 10. Fountain drinks and tap water. Hidden metal tastes you're hot, thirsty, and ready to grab that free soda or refill your water bottle at the fountain. Seems harmless, right? But here's what most passengers never realize. Not all water on board is created equal. Cruise ships produce their own drinking water using desalination systems, basically turning seawater into something safe to drink. It's completely sanitary, but the process can leave a faint metallic or mineral taste, especially when the lines haven't been flushed recently. And that's just the start. Those self-serve drink stations, they're not cleaned as often as you think. The same soda nozzles run syrup mixed with ship water, and over time, that sticky residue becomes a perfect home for bacteria and mold. Crew quietly admit they avoid the fountains after heavy meal rushes because they've seen how quickly those nozzles build up gunk when they rerun and when you're off the ship, especially in ports like Mexico, Jamaica, or the Dominican Republic, that's when the real danger kicks in. Tap water ashore can contain bacteria your stomach isn't used to. One careless sip or ice cube, and your fun day at the beach turns into a day in your cabin with a bottle of Pepto. Always go for sealed bottled water or canned drinks when in port, and refill your own insulated bottle from the main dining room, not a random fountain. Number 11. Buffet desserts. Pretty, but preserved. They look perfect, glossy chocolate mousse, bright fruit tarts, cakes, straight out of a magazine. But before you grab that plate at the dessert station, here's a little secret. Those gorgeous buffet sweets aren't always as fresh as they appear. Most cruise ships prepare desserts in bulk long before you see them. Many are pre-frozen, shipped in from catering suppliers, and thawed on board as needed. That's why they look identical, neat, shiny, and maybe a little too perfect. Once they're thawed, they sit in chilled cases or under buffet lights for hours. By late evening, that fresh mousse could be on its second or third round on display. Crew insiders admit the pastry stations are notorious for recycling. Leftover slices from lunch service often reappear at dinner with a new drizzle or garnish. It's not unsafe if kept cold, but it is far from the made-today experience cruise marketing promises. The real issue, temperature swings. Cream-based fillings and custards can sour quickly when they re-expose to warm air, especially near those outdoor desert setups by the pool. And nothing ruins vacation faster than a bad dessert turning into a bad stomach. Here's your insider move. Skip the mass-produced buffet sweets and head to a specialty cafe or main dining room dessert. Those are portioned to order and made fresh each day. They may not sparkle like the buffet lineup, but they'll taste a whole lot better and safer. Because on a cruise, dessert should end your night sweetly, not send you running for the doctor. Number 12. Endless bread baskets. The appetite killer. They bring it out before you even order. Warm, soft, buttery rolls that smell like heaven. You're starving, the ocean's rolling, and that bread basket looks like love in carb form. But here's what seasoned cruisers know. Those innocent little rolls can sabotage your entire meal. Cruise lines want you to fill up early. Bread is cheap, and when you load up on it, you eat less of the premium dishes, the shrimp, the steak, the lobster tail that actually cost the cruise line money. It's a quiet strategy that's been part of dining service for decades. But beyond the business trick, there's a physical one too. Heavy carbs before dinner expand in your stomach, making you feel bloated, sluggish, and full before the main event even hits the table. You might think you're repacing yourself until you realize you've devoured half the basket and can't finish your entree. Crew members see it every night. Guests raving about the bread. then barely touching the food they actually paid for. Even worse, that overstuffed feeling makes you tired. Not ideal before showtime or formal night photos. Enjoy one roll, maybe two if you must, but then stop. Drink water instead and save room for the good stuff, the perfectly seared steak, the lobster tail, the dessert you actually want. Number 13. Buffet Sushi. Raw trouble at sea. Sushi on a cruise. Sounds fancy, right? You spot those neat little rolls on the buffet. Bright tuna, creamy avocado, a touch of soy, and you think, wow, they really go all out here. But here's the raw truth. Buffet sushi is one of the riskiest foods you can eat at sea. Sushi needs precise temperature control from prep to plate. The fish must stay chilled at all times, usually under 40 degrees Fahrenheit, to keep bacteria at bay. On land, that's easy. But on a cruise ship buffet where trays sit out for hours, not so much. Once that fish warms up, even slightly, bacteria multiply fast. Crew members know this. Many won't touch buffet sushi unless it's fresh from the galley. They've seen those platters rotate through lunch, then reappear for dinner with a new garnish. And when raw seafood spends too long in the open air, it doesn't just lose flavor, it becomes a health gamble. Thousands of passengers, open-air buffets, and limited cold storage space. Not exactly the ideal setup for raw fish. If you're craving sushi, go to a specialty restaurant like Izumi on Royal Caribbean or Kato on MSC. These venues prepare rolls to order under strict temperature rules. You'll pay a few extra dollars, but you'll get real, restaurant-quality sushi, not something that's been sitting in the sun since lunchtime. Number 14. Leftover pizza, reheated and recycled. Cruise pizza is legendary. Hot, cheesy, and open late. It's the perfect midnight snack, after a show or a few too many cocktails. But here's the truth no one talks about. That slice you're eyeing might be on its second life. Cruise pizzerias run almost non-stop, especially late at night. To keep up with the crowds, staff sometimes reuse leftover pizza from earlier service. Slices that sat out too long get thrown back under the heat lamps, reheated until they look fresh again. And while it might look fine under that golden glow, the texture and safety tell a different story. Crew members quietly admit they can spot a recycled slice from a mile away. Dry cheese, soggy crust, no real heat in the center. It's not that they lazy, they just trying to handle 3,000 hungry passengers at 1 a.m., but that reheating process creates the perfect danger zone for bacteria. Once cooked food cools, warms, and cools again. You're rolling the dice with every bite, and nothing ruins a night faster than realizing your post-party pizza came with a side of food poisoning. Watch the counter. If you don't see crew pulling a fresh pizza straight from the oven, ask for one. Most ships will gladly make you a personal pie, hot, safe, and made just for you. Number 15. Prime Rib Night. The overhyped classic, it's the big night everyone talks about. Prime Rib Night. The dining room lights are low, the menu looks fancy, and the waiter leans in with a grin. Tonight's special is our slow-roasted prime rib. Sounds irresistible, right? But here's the truth. Seasoned cruisers know that premium cut might be more hype than heat. Most cruise ships pre-cook their roasts in bulk, long before dinner service starts. The meat is held under warming lamps or in steam trays for hours to handle the thousands of guests coming through. By the time it hits your table, what started as juicy and tender often turns into dry, gray slices that taste more cafeteria than steakhouse. Crew members see at every cruise trays of overcooked beef carved endlessly through the night, and when guests send it back, it just gets drenched in extra gravy to hide the dryness. It's not unsafe, just underwhelming. But here's the bigger issue. Prime rib loses all its flavor when it's held at the wrong temperature too long. You're basically eating reheated leftovers dressed in formal night clothing. Here's your insider move. Skip the hype and order something cooked fresh like a sirloin, filet, or New York strip. Those are grilled to order and taste infinitely better. Or, if you really want a perfect cut, book a seat at the specialty steakhouse on board. You made it through the list. 15 cruise foods that even the crew won't touch. And now, you know the truth. It's not about avoiding the buffet completely, it's about knowing what is worth it. Because on a ship with endless food and drink, the real pros aren't the ones who eat the most, they read the ones who eat the right things. Skip the soggy shrimp, mystery meats, and under-the-lamp leftovers. Go for the made-to-order dishes, the specialty restaurants, and the food you can actually see being cooked fresh. Your stomach will thank you, and so will your vacation photos. Cruise lines might not warn you, but now you've got the insider edge. So tell me, what's the worst cruise food you've ever tried? Drop it in the comments below. I'm reading every one of them. And if you found this helpful, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss the next insider tip.